All right, it is 6 o'clock, so we'll call our meeting to order and open with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, before we get into our activity reports, I will just note that I talked to Jennifer about this earlier today. New business. No, I can't find it. There it is. New business, letter E. I'm going to move to the end just because those are accompanied by some closed sessions. So that way those who don't need to be here for those can leave and they're not sticking around for those to finish before we come back into open. So our council activity reports, I had a fairly light couple of weeks. We had our town and country days, of course, and our working session. Then I had a couple of meetings last week with the Friends of the Library Committee, along with some interested folks from the library, Leo, Luella, Lewis, folks from the library, on just kind of crafting a vision for what the city wants to see based on the increased needs of the library and getting a vision in place so that we can start looking at possible avenues of funding rather than just spinning our wheels on the issue. So that's all I've got. Mr. Hertzberg.
All I had was the Town and Country Days. I worked for the Senior Center at the Fry Bread Thursday afternoon, and we rode in the parade and threw a lot of candy. We ate some too.
Only a little.
Just a bit.
Councilwoman Brick.
I had the EDAP meeting and also the working session that you mentioned, and I had a meeting to help plan the Night to Unite evening that we have in the Gazebo Park in August.
Okay. Councilwoman Soini.
I had a planning commission meeting, EDAP meeting, working session. That about does it.
All right.
I was at the working session and I rode in the parade and ate a lot of Sean's candy.
And I should note, from the working session, one of the things that we had sort of agreed on was that the mobile home park project was not feasible and moving forward. So I did today draft a letter to all of the residents of the park, just alerting them of that, and I think Jennifer said that that got mailed out. They deserve to know that we're not pushing that any further, so they'll receive that in the next day or two. Department head reports. Mr. Ludwig.
Yes. So far this year, 2021 is about as strong as 2020. We're just down about 20,000 for the year. I attributed a lot of that, with the bars opening up things, but we've also picked up a lot of sales due to the parties, graduations, so we're having a really good year. Just want to let the public know we're doing our best to try and get a lot of their favorite products, but they're out of a lot of products. So they have stopped making certain items, that slower moving ones, to maintain the popular ones. And but we are trying every week to get those products in to keep our people happy. So anyway, just part of the business. We're doing our Folds of Honor promotion again with Budweiser. That goes through July 6th, where we raise money that gets to the Folds of Honor. Budweiser takes care of that for us. In August, we'll be doing our third annual Fireman's Fundraiser that we did last couple of years through our association. And hopefully this year we can grill hot dogs and brats like we did a couple of years ago. And I'll be working with the fire department on that. And that starts the first part of August. And then the last bit of news, a lot of questions about when we're going to start Wine Club. And I've already booked a vendor for September. We're going to give it a whirl, date and time. We'll decide at one of our future board meetings. But we should get that going again. If everything stays the way it is now with the numbers, I think we'll be okay. So,
Okay. Any questions?
I'll have it.
Thank you. I've got some stuff, but we'll get to that later when we get to hiring. Mr. Morgan.
Okay, thank you. The water leak that we had last fall up on Minnesota Street in Stearns is repaired. And the reason for waiting was the school did need to be shut down, so we figured we'd wait till after school was out to do that. Let's see, the usage of the compost site remains very strong out there. Would like to remind residents we do not charge anything for that, so we do need the donations, and we do appreciate them very much. Wednesday we do have a trail meeting coming up, and Thursday we do have a park board meeting coming up, and we'll be deciding those items. Airport, today we did get the last hangar rented, so we are at 100% capacity out there. That contract will be coming to the council at the next meeting. Water usage, just for everyone's interest, we're up about 250 to 300,000 a day, gallons that is. And tree trimming, I'd like to remind residents it is their duty if the tree is over 7 feet over a sidewalk or 12 feet over the street, they do need to clip it to those levels. Thank you.
With the water leak, is the plan to get that asphalted at some point?
Absolutely.
And any idea when that is?
I called the contractors today, several weeks.
Okay. Thank you. Any questions for Ron? All right, Mr. Robert Fine.
Submitted our application for the federal relief funds, which we had to apply for, which we have, and there's no set timeline as when we'll expect to get the first half, but it should be very soon. Chuck and I had a call with the Minnesota Housing Finance Agency. I got it right this time. And this is regarding the mobile home park, just letting them know that we are not going to move it, but should there be any grants available for improving the infrastructure or improving the park? And they said yes. The owner needs to apply, and if the owner wants to apply, we will help them with and support them with whatever they want to do to help improve the park. And then finally, Sean and I attended the Friends of the Painesville Library last week to discuss options for having a new library.
Okay, any questions for Tara? And we'll move on to the approval of our consent agenda, which includes the minutes from the EDAP board and the planning board meetings noted on there, the vouchers totaling $583,785.84, along with sending Mr. Schleifer and Wander to the MRWA technical conference in August. Any desire to pull anything, or is there a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Second.
I have a motion by Hertzberg, seconded by Soini, consent agenda. Any discussion on that? Hearing and seeing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? None? That carries. On to new business, the Legion. And Mr. Kulzer is here. Just give me a second, John. Okay. You're not close to a mic, so would you mind shouting?
So I was approached by Mr.
What's
Weber.
up?
How about a little further away,
Can you
John?
put it on the chair, maybe?
We can hear you.
I was approached by Mr. Weber from the new eatery in Painesville here. He had expressed interest in the Painesville Legion doing their gambling. So I will oversee all operations of gambling under the American Legion's license. And he would like to do E-tabs, paper pull tabs, and possibly paddle wheel, which would be like meat raffles, things like that. So I asked the council to consider approving us to do gambling at the eatery located at 112 Washburn Avenue.
So just clarify, that's going to benefit the Legion, but be conducted at the eatery in addition to what you have going on at the Legion already?
Correct. Yep, it will go through the Legion.
Any questions for John?
No, just a comment. This is quite common, like I believe in Valley Lions or at Manana and different, when you have the license, you can branch out and do this.
Gives you another opportunity to raise those funds. Yep.
And with that, I'll make a motion to approve Minnesota Lawful Gambling LG 214 premises permit application of law with Painesville American Legion to conduct gambling at the eatery at 112 Washburn Avenue, Painesville.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Hertzberg, seconded by Brick, as stated on the action sheet, to approve the lawful gambling LG 214 premises permit application allowing the Painesville American Legion to conduct gambling at the eatery at 112 Washburn Ave, Painesville. Any further discussion on that? Hearing and seeing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? None? That carries. All right, family movie night.
let you have it.
Yeah,
Absolutely fine. It's a little rude, Alan.
All right, we are hoping to do our movie night again that we did last year. Last year was our first attempt, and it didn't go quite as well over as we hoped, but we are hoping that that was due to the pandemic. We utilized the property off of Lake Avenue, and we would like permission to use that again for September 10th of this year.
Our action sheet says September 24th.
Oh, we have September 10th, and then we have, due to inclement weather, then we would have a reschedule for the 24th.
Okay.
I'll say it seemed like Town and Country Days went off splendidly out there, so I did ask Ron to have Park and Tree start considering what else we can do with that property, if there's a way to make it into some sort of community gathering spot rather than just an empty lot. Any questions here? Is there a motion to approve or deny?
I'll move to allow a family outdoor movie night at 605 Lake Avenue on Friday, September 10th, 2021, with a backup date of Friday, September 24th, with the understanding of the requirements listed in the comments of the action sheet.
Okay, we have a motion by Brick. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Thielen, as stated on the action sheet, to allow a family outdoor movie night at 605 Lake Ave on Friday, September 10th, or backup date of Friday, September 24th, with the understanding that there are requirements as listed. Any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? None. That carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, then we have a variance request by the Hobbies. Looks like this has gone through planning, which did vote to approve it. Jean, any special notes that we should be aware of from
No,
that?
it's just a unique piece of property. They have like 2 frontages, so their variances are I mean, their setbacks are the same for both sides, and they have to get a variance for one.
I would note that from trying to get a permit to put up a shed myself this summer, Jennifer will make me do 30 feet back unless I get a variance, because those are the rules. So it's a very unique situation. So,
This is saying that we're setting a public hearing, didn't we have it?
We have to have a public hearing. so
Yeah,
this is your
we have to
vote.
set the public hearing. We're not approving the variance yet. Right.
I thought Rachel probably would have been here if we weren't.
Yeah.
Nice catch, I missed it myself.
I'll make the motion to set the Hobby variance public hearing for Monday, July 26th at 6:15.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Soini, seconded by Hertzberg, to set the Hoppy variance public hearing for Monday, July 26th at 6:15 PM. Any further discussion on that? Hearing and seeing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? None. That carries. Thank you. And then on to our update for the liquor store clerk resignation and hiring. Stephanie is moving on to greener pastures, and Bill wants to find a replacement.
Please.
Is
Yes,
that the Reader's Digest version?
that's the Reader's Digest version. It works out fantastic.
Do you want to talk a little bit about leaving it open indefinitely and the benefits to that?
So, a lot of our friends in the city, in several cities, are going through the same thing that we are. They have left the job opening open indefinitely, so we always don't have to come to you guys to post. One good example would be if an ex-liquor store manager moved to Lake Coronis and was here for the summer. By the time we interview, go through the process, it'd be 2 months would have passed. If we leave this open, we don't have to post to all the full-time members of our staff that can't work at the liquor store. It would speed up the process and we can get them hired. A lot of times in hiring a part-time person, it is all about interview and get them going, because there's a lot of opportunities out there and they go fast. And it takes, 30 days time we post everything. So if we leave it open indefinitely, it gives us an opportunity to interview people a lot faster. And a lot of cities are going to that same style to try and keep it going.
And then as for increasing hours, I did reach out to Bill Spooner this morning just to ask about Councilwoman Brick, also working at the liquor store, making sure we don't have a conflict there. And as I understand it, because this is it's intended to be very temporary, it will be very temporary, it does not create any issues with Ms. Brick serving on council and working out at the liquor store, even if it is at 40 hours a week, because it is temporary in nature.
And the goal is to get somebody hired, but there's a week in August, there's 3 of us right now. So it just gives us that opportunity to give everybody some more hours that would take those.
Any questions for Bill? Otherwise, we'd be looking for a motion to approve Stephanie's resignation.
I will abstain from the next motions.
From all 3 of them?
Yes.
Okay.
Make the motion to approve the resignation of Stephanie Soroki, liquor store clerk, effective July 1st, 2021.
Second.
We have a motion by Soini, seconded by Thielen, to approve the resignation of Stephanie Soroki, liquor store clerk, effective July 1, 2021. Any further discussion on that? Hearing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? None. That carries.
I'll make the motion to advertise to fill the position of part-time liquor store clerk, to leave the position open indefinitely.
Second.
All right, we have a motion by Hertzberg, seconded by Soini, to advertise to fill the position of part-time liquor store clerk and to leave the position open indefinitely. Any further discussion on that? The only thing I would note is that we should probably look for advertising this in more places, attract a wider variety of candidates, see what we can get. All right, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? None? That carries. And there's that one abstention again. And then is there a motion on the increase of hours?
Now I'll make the motion to increase the liquor store clerk's hours from up to 32 hours per week to up to 40 hours per week through Labor Day.
Second.
I have a motion by Soini, seconded by Thielen, to increase the liquor store clerk hours from 32 per week up to 40 per week through Labor Day. Any further discussion on that? None. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? None. That carries with one abstention.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bill. Item E, we're coming back to Cronus Ducks Gambling on page 23 of our agenda. There is an application for the Cronus Ducks to hold a raffle and bingo at the Legion. John, are you running this one too?
This would be under their license, so this one is on.
They do it every year for their banquet.
Yep.
I'll make the motion to approve the Minnesota Lawful Gambling LG 220 application for exempt permit for Cronus Ducks Unlimited to hold a raffle and bingo at Painesville American Legion on August 26, 27, 2021.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Soini, seconded by Hertzberg, to approve the Minnesota Lawful Gambling LG 220 application for exempt permit for Cronus Ducks Unlimited to hold a raffle and bingo at Painesville American Legion on August 26 and 27, 2021. Any further discussion on that? None. All in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? None. That carries.
I get my phone.
Our 800-year-old computer decided it wanted to give up on us, so.
Glad I forgot my laptop.
Okay, Granite Telecom.
Yes.
Mark, do you want to talk to us about this?
Yeah, Granite Telecom is a telecom consolidator. I reached out to them to see what they can do about our telecom charges. We have 4 different providers right now, telecom and internet, and tried to see if we were to combine them, would we save money, and at the same time, without the need to buy new hardware, because that will be a huge expense for us, and I don't think we're prepared to buy new hardware. They came back to me and they said, yes, you can keep their existing hardware. We can use the existing lines and infrastructure we have, and we can consolidate all of the telecom into one. And as you can see there, they're estimating an annual savings of around $3,200. And one interesting note there is they're saying over a 3-year period, 3,200 per year. However, this is not a contract, so if we're not happy with their service, we can change at any time.
Any idea how they're able to do that?
They are a consolidator or aggregator, so they buy, they're like a wholesaler. They buy wholesale from these providers, and they, offer a consolidated price or lower price based on volume.
And we shouldn't see any interruption to our service?
I asked them about that, and they said only when they do the switch over, there might be a minute or something when they switch the lines over, but other than that, there shouldn't be any downtime.
Any questions for Tarek on this? Okay, and then is there a motion to approve? Or to utilize, I suppose?
Well, I like it, we can save money instead of spend, so I'll make the motion to utilize Granite Path to partnership to pay the city's telephone and internet bills.
I'll second.
So we have a motion by Hertzberg, seconded by Brick, to utilize Granite Path to partnership to pay the city's telephone and internet bills. Any further discussion on that?
Yeah, I'd like to discuss one thing on here. Instead of putting all your, for lack of a better term, eggs in one basket, I think it'd be wise to hold on to one Mediacom or Windstream or MCI or Vibrant while this is up and running, just in case there's a hiccup. We don't lose.
The switchover, like I said, just takes about a minute or so to do all the switching or switchover connection. So there's not going to be a downtime or time where we would need some backup because we're using the same infrastructure.
Okay. I'm more worried about the intermittent downtime if there's going to be any software issues. So just a guarantee that it's not going to inconvenience a lot of people that work in City Hall. Last thing you want to do is have them down for half a day because you can't get the internet.
Yeah, no, we've had downtime before like that where it was supposed to be a half hour, ended up being half a day.
Right.
So I know what you mean. But when we had the discussion on that, and specifically on downtime, they were pretty certain that there will be downtime in a matter of minutes or a minute.
Okay.
Are they locally based, like in Minnesota, or where are they?
They are a nationwide provider. They're based in the East Coast, Massachusetts.
Do they have somebody in our area?
Yes, they do have service providers here, and also if we do have any downtime, if their technician can't come out, they will send a technician from whoever's line we're using. So if it's Mediacom, they contract with Mediacom to come out.
Real quick, Tarek, do we know how this is going to work? I'm assuming it incorporates the police department as well, but incorporates the state lines,
Yeah.
and whether or not they're going to be able to accommodate, and fall within the state regulations for whatever they have for our lines coming into the PD.
If your lines were on our current billing, because what we did was we sent them our current billing for telecom lines, which includes the local and long distance, then yes, it was part of that bidding process.
Okay.
I think if we can save $3,300 a year, which is about half a percentage point on our levy, it's at least worth a shot. When we're not in a contract, if it doesn't work, it's easy enough to cancel. All right, any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None? On to the surplus property on page 35 of the agenda. Ron, we'll start with you. I see you got a number of things on here.
We identified quite a number of items that we have listed on the agenda here. And I guess it's our recommendation that we use min bid for that. We've used them in the past and has worked very well. So I guess we'd see no reason why not to go ahead with it. Obviously, these items have not been used in a number of years, and we do need to do some house cleaning and make room.
I don't know why you haven't been using that VCR. Chief, did you have anything to add? On that one, at least?
I think there are some items on here. I know we have it put up here for min bid, but I do believe there's some items on here that, I think we could probably just post locally. I really don't think we're gonna get a lot of bids for 8x4 bulletin boards on min bid. So I think some of these things, you know, I'd at least like to take a look at those items that, you know, I'm fairly confident we won't be able to sell on min bid, and rather than waste our time, just post them for the public here to purchase.
So the recommendation would be for approval through either min bid or locally at department head discretion.
That would be my recommendation, yes. So I think items like the Surrey bikes, I think absolutely should go on min bid. I think we will get some decent traction with those.
Your thoughts, Tarek?
No, I agree.
Okay.
I'm all about getting rid of junk.
You just moved that one.
Okay, then with that, we'd be looking for a motion to declare the property surplus and allow it to be sold on min bid and locally as deemed appropriate.
I'll make the motion to declare the unused property from City Hall, Liquor Store, Public Works, and Police Departments as surplus and advertise for sealed bids.
Second.
So we have a motion by Soini, seconded by Hertzberg, to declare the unused property from City Hall, the Liquor Store, Public Works, and Police Departments as surplus and advertise for sealed bids for such, and that can be done through mid-bid or locally. Any further discussion on that? None, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? None, that carries. It's what?
Rain.
I don't know what that word means. It's an ancient word that we don't use anymore.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. On to the abandoned property, the bikes. Did you get anybody calling to pick theirs up today?
Nobody has called me to say that they have lost their bicycle today.
I was hoping.
So we've got about 23 of them. Actually, we have 24, but that one hasn't been around long enough, so.
Okay.
I guess I would ask that these would be deemed abandoned, and then we can move forward. I would probably just post these locally, and then what I would ask is that anything that doesn't sell, that we reach out to the different organization, or the one organization here in town that kind of took the bikes, fixed them up, and then donated them to the community center in the past.
I don't think they're doing that right
I
now.
don't think they're doing that anymore.
Right, they,
So I'm gonna have to talk really, really nice.
but if they're functional, the community center will take them.
Yep.
Okay.
Make the motion to approve resolution 2021-14, declaring property to be abandoned, authorizing publication of notice thereof, describing the property and the time, place, and manner of sale.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Soini, seconded by Thielen. As stated on the action sheet, to approve resolution 2021-14, declaring property to be abandoned, authorizing publication of notice, describing the property and the time, place, and manner of the sale. Any further discussion on that? All in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? None. That carries. Great. And moving on to old business, airport on page 85. Give me a second to get there in the agenda, and then Ron or Chuck, I imagine, one of you will want to tell us about that.
Sure. As council may recall, back in 2017, the city actually sold one of the lots in Airport View to the airport, which allowed for the expansion of the hangar area. And so after that, the new T hangar building was built. Well, at the time, we used a part of our federal entitlement funds to fund that transfer. Basically, the city sold that lot to the airport, and at a rate of federal grant at 90%, state grant at 5%, and a 5% local match. So at the time, we submitted a closeout report, went through the process, MnDOT approved it, and then it got sent to the FAA. Now, 2 years later, they come back and decide they want some additional information. so. They requested a warranty deed, which I know Bill has prepared and is in your packet. They also requested a subordination agreement, basically for the easements that are located around the lot. That was originally part of Airport View, just subordinating the rights to those easements over to the airport. And then the last item was an Exhibit A update, which is a property map for the airport. Originally, this was planned to be updated next time your airport layout plan would be updated, which is planned for 2023. However, they have now said they want that done now since there was land acquired. And the tough thing about that is actually they've changed the requirements on what's expected on an Exhibit A update map, basically from when it was last done in 2010. So it has to be researched all the way back from when the land was originally part of a patent. So you have to go back a long way. So it requires a lot of research and to go back that far. So basically, in order to accomplish that, they've also requested that we request an extension to our grant. Originally, we're hoping to have everything closed out by September 14th, 2021. And then now we'd be requesting a 1-year extension to September 14th, 2022. So, any questions?
Well, the first one is the amount. This is 2,400. Is it 24,000, I bet, in the action?
On line 4.
Yeah, it'd be 24,000.
Yeah.
And that extra would become part of our federal grant, so it'd be 90% federal, 5% state, 5% local.
On our notes here, there's a missing 0,
Yeah.
Okay,
and that could make a big difference.
yeah.
You don't have to do any surveying or anything, just going through records, or?
Most of it's doing title research back on, and we don't just have to do this for the land that was purchased, we have to do it for all the land on the whole airport now. So there's several.
The whole airport.
Fantastic.
And a reminder, the funding is the same, 95-5. So 5% local, 5% state, and 90% federal.
So 24,000 is scary, but we're not paying nearly that much.
Correct.
Okay.
And this is pretty common when you're dealing with the FAA, that they change their requirements and how they abide by their rules, so.
Are you saying the federal government doesn't stick to something?
Motion to approve the warranty deed for the airport land.
Second.
We have a motion by Thielen, seconded by Soini to approve the warranty deed for the airport land. Any discussion on that? Hearing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? None. That carries.
Motion to request an extension to September 14th, 2022 to close out the grant, project number T51.111097.
Okay, we have a motion by Thielen. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Rick. To request an extension to September 14, 2020 to close out the grant, project number T51.111097. Any further discussion on that? None. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? None. That carries.
Make the motion to approve subordination agreement between the City of Painesville and Painesville Municipal Airport.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Soini, seconded by Thielen, to approve the subordination agreement between the City of Painesville and Painesville Municipal Airport. Any further discussion on that? None. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? None. That carries. Okay.
And I'll make the motion to authorize Bolton and me to complete Exhibit A property map for the Painesville Municipal Airport in the amount of up to $24,000.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Hertzberg, seconded by Soini, to authorize Bolton and Menk to complete Exhibit A, the property map for the Painesville Municipal Airport, in an amount totaling up to $24,000. Any discussion on that? None. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? None. That carries. All right, the AMPI expansion. Chuck, you have a report.
Yes, the AMPI expansion wastewater system project is substantially complete. They actually finished some of the work last week. There are a few things that remaining. They still got to get the grass to grow over by the lift station is one of them. But like I said, the project is substantially complete. So in your packet is a copy of pay request 13. That is in the amount of $223,302.92 for work completed through June 21st. Hopefully, we anticipate closing this project out in the next month or so.
Okay. Any questions for Chuck?
I'll make the motion to approve payment estimate number 13, payable to Eagle Construction Company Incorporated, amount of $223,302.92.
Okay, we have a motion by Hertzberg. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Brick, to approve payment estimate number 13, payable to Eagle Construction Company Incorporated in the amount of $223,302.92. Any further discussion on that? None? Oh, Ron.
Yes, I'd just like to thank all the residents and the businesses downtown last week during that pumping and rehab of the manholes. Yeah, just a word of thanks for being cooperative and patient, and got done quite well.
Okay. No further discussion. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? None. That carries. Thank you. We have our informational reports there at the end, the West Central Sanitation, Centerpoint Energy, May Police reports, July and August meeting schedules. So with that, that closes out our old business along with the majority of our new business. We do have the performance reviews by the department heads, or for the department heads, to review. So we will be going into closed session for each of those, starting with Mr. Ludwig, then Mr. Mergen, and then Chief Wagner. So we'll be going into closed session for each of those. We just ask that we'll take a little recess here before going into Mr. Ludwig's eval. We'll come back into open session to approve or take any action on those, and then move on to the next one.
And it's my understanding, and based on the letter I got from Administrator RFI, I'm requesting mine be open.
Yeah, we'll start closed, just talk about a couple of things, and then we can do that.
Yeah. Thank you.
So anyone who's not here for Mr. Ludwig's evaluation, I'd ask that you just clear the room, please.